Hi guys, we're back out again today. We're at a new cemetery. This one's a Catholic cemetery, and I don't know anything about Catholics or their religion or anything, so. They got these big praying angels at the entrance. These big ones here. They're on both sides, guarding the gates. Well, somewhere in this cemetery, I think it's way up back on the hill, there's a huge cross that I want to check out. Yeah, Catholic religion is different. I don't know, they have a lot of different religious figures and stuff. I don't know anything about it, but it's interesting.
This one with the pictures.
Yeah, see, that's what I like, is when somebody puts a photo to the names. I think that's really cool. Oh, Metzler. I knew some Metzlers. Anne Marie Metzler and Richard David Metzler. Matter of fact, I knew a David Metzler. We used to landscape for him. I don't know if he's probably related to these people. I don't know, but that's what they look like right there. Good looking couple. Photo looks like it's maybe from the 50s. Wow, a lot of these have photos on them. So yeah, Catholic religion, I guess they're really all about it. This woman died in 1937. And that obviously was her husband right there. He died in 1947. Exactly 10 years later. Yeah, almost all of them have pictures on them. Wow, how weird. This girl looks like someone I went to school with. She looks just like a girl that was in my class. Jenkins. Huh. Carmela. Okay.
And they always have beautiful pictures of like Jesus in it.
Yeah, like this with, I don't know if that represents the earth and a cross. I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about this religion. But it's really neat that they put the pictures. She died in 1959. Here's a couple. Look like they really loved each other. Look at that. (1973) and 1959. (1921 to 1997). See, you guys, this is how all cemeteries should do it, where they have the picture of the person, and it just makes you wonder, you know, what kind of lives did they have? All the things they went through. Celebrations, loss, birthdays, holidays. I mean, this guy here looks like he could have been a lawyer, maybe a doctor, maybe he was an accountant, who knows? Some name I'm not even going to try to pronounce. So he was an immigrant. As so many were in the old days. This woman lost her husband in 1963, Conti. That's what he looked like. And then she lived until 2008, and that's what she looked like. So, Bridget's already way down ahead of me, so we're gonna find an older section of this cemetery, you guys, because some of these are pretty new. But all these stones, especially with the new ones now, they're putting their pictures on it. That is so cool. And then this big building down here is a giant mausoleum. If that's what they call it, I don't know. There's a lot of names in here I recognize though. Volo, I went to school with a Volo. Mazurko. Oh, here's an old one. Look at this, wow. (1929 to 1934). Look at this couple. Wow. You ever notice people that lived back in those days, they rarely ever smiled, they all looked pissed? It's probably because life was so hard back then, you know? I mean, you wouldn't really have much to smile about because you had to go out to an outhouse when it was 10 degrees below zero and your ass would freeze to the seat. So yeah, not much to smile about in those days. If you didn't feel good, you just had to suffer through it. Here's one, honey, that was done recently.
Yeah,
You know,
place is over here.
I just, I mean, no offense to people's final wishes, but this to me is like being put in a filing cabinet. I don't know why you'd want to be buried way above ground, like in just being slid in like a drawer. I don't understand that. Somebody's mother, grandmother, somebody's aunt, sister, wife.
Somebody must make these little plaques with their pictures.
Yeah,
on it
it's
and sell
quite-
them, because these are all new.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, you could make a killing being in that kind of business, you know, because
And they
I
use
just
the
think it's,
run.
you know, it's like I didn't even know the Catholic religion was all about that, and I was mentioning it over in the other cemetery, and it's like, and over here there's tons of them. And boy, you guys, it goes way up there, way up at the top.
So they must have just put somebody in there. What's the date on that?
I don't know, but I noticed a lot of the people in this cemetery, they all got really long, difficult names to pronounce.
Oh, Ross has it. He must have just
Para-
passed away. 'Cause it,
Paracility? I don't know.
this one's empty.
Look at this couple now. They look like they'd be fun. They're smiling. You know, the kind of neighbors you'd have at a campground where they invite you over for coffee and she'd have homemade cookies or something. A lot of laughter and stories and telling you about their grandkids, and they just look like they'd be a happy, loving couple.
This is where they do their services here.
Oh, yeah?
For some people.
All right, let's go find the older part of the cemetery and see what we can find. I wonder how far back it goes where they put photos. I know there were some older ones when we came in, but now let's go up the hill and see what we can find. There's more on this side too, a whole bunch more. Yeah, they have a lot of grand headstones and monuments and whatnot. A lot of statuary. I guess the Catholics are really big on statuary. Galati. I had neighbors growing up as a kid named Galati. Oh wow, that is a gorgeous stone. Oh my gosh. Wow, and this person was born the same year as I was, 1971. Look at that.
1967.
Wow, they're getting really good at these.
They're not even buried yet.
That is a beautiful stone. Now my dad had the black granite like that, and this one's highly polished. And it has an old-fashioned car carving on it, but man, the way they do it now, it's almost like a photograph.
It's etched.
That is absolutely beautiful. That would be, yeah, and it's all granite. That would be an extremely expensive stone right there. That is the prettiest headstone I've ever seen. The way they can do that. We're near the airport. Jamestown Airport. I've never seen stones like these. It's the first time I've ever been in this cemetery. There's one down here, hon, with a picture on it. There's somebody was recently put in. Messina. Mary Lou Messina. August 25th, 1956 to June 11th, 2004. Oh, this woman passed away recently, January 15th, 2023. Right there. Damon. Now, I know whenever I've done cemetery videos, people have said, you know, that they're not comfortable with walking between the graves because it's kind of disrespectful, but you guys got to remember, when they take care of these cemeteries, I mean, they've got crews of people going around with weed whackers and mowers, and I mean, it gets foot traffic. You can't help but walk through a cemetery to go from stone to stone. There's no sidewalks or anything. It's just grass. And it's not being disrespectful. It's just the way that it is, you guys. In order to go from stone to stone to read them, I mean, lots of people do it. It's not about disrespect. It's just, what else can you do? You can't fly to each stone. I mean, you have to walk through the place. And trust me, I don't believe the deceased care at all. Because once you're rid of this world, you're just like, you're no longer connected to this world, and you no longer care or have any concerns about this earth or your body.
This is for the living.
Yeah, like Bridget said, this is for the living. This is, trust me, these people that are all gone, they don't care. They simply just do not care. Lover Me, now that's a different name I've never heard before. Nice couple. They were married in 1945. Frank and Maisie. Wow. And as usual, the man always dies first, followed by the wife later. That's typically how it goes. You know, I've always wondered that, like, when a man loses his wife, he usually dies soon thereafter. He just, like, mourns himself to death. But when it's the other way around, and the man dies, it seems like the women can live for like decades afterwards. It's almost like they're happy he's gone. She's like, finally, I'm rid of that prick. I sometimes wonder that. Look at this gigantic piece right here. You want to talk about money? There you go. If you have enough of it, this is the kind of stone you can have. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Jesus on the front and Mary on the back. Sweet.
Whoever does these stones, boy, I'll tell you, they've really got an artistic talent. That's for sure. Yeah, there's Mary, Mother Mary on the back, right?
Yes.
Now, who would that figure be?
I don't know. I don't know.
It almost looks like he's got a cell phone. What is that?
Is it Moses? It looks like a cell phone, doesn't
It does. They made it look like a cell phone. I know it's not, but it's just that's the way it looks.
Beautiful tools together.
These ones with the angels here resting on the hearts, I think those are cool.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
Here's a family here. And it has playing cards, scissors and comb, and paintbrush and paint can. And somebody liked to gamble because there's a slot machine, Las Vegas.
Carmela must have been a hairdresser.
Yeah, hairdresser, painter. Anthony was a painter. Carmela was the beautician. And Tony Ann was a gambler because there's playing cards. And so one of them went to Vegas a lot. And based on their expressions, they won often. That's awesome. Whatever you love to do, that's all right. Very cool. They all look like very nice people. Probably people, you know, that generation where they've been married for decades. Unlike a lot of marriages today that only last a couple of years and then they're gone. A lot of Galattis in here. I went to school with Galattis, had neighbors under the name Galati. He passed away, but she's still alive because her date isn't here yet, but she's still alive. But that's what they look like. What a beautiful stone, huh? Look at this one. It says, "I love you more than words can ever say." And this couple, both of them are still alive because their death date hasn't been put in yet, so they're prepared for where they're going because their stone is already here, yet they're still alive.
They're still in their 50s.
Yeah, they're right around my age. Look like a healthy couple. So they are invested and prepared for when their day comes to where their site is all
It's
set.
really cool that you can see what your site will look like.
Well, that would be kind of weird though, to be alive and then come visit your own headstone before you're under it. I mean,
It happens a lot with married
that would be
couples.
weird. I'd feel like, almost like I'm jinxing myself, like I'm rushing it. I'd be like,
Mom and Dad's have theirs together. My mom's still alive.
they must have taken the big cross down because there was a huge cross up here that you could see from the expressway. It was like 3 stories tall, a mammoth cross. And I don't see it anywhere. Okay, see, this is what I was talking about. Her husband Paul passed away in 2018 and she's still alive. They haven't put her date in yet. Peru. And their dog Bubba. So I bet their dog's here too. Oh, this is quite the stone here. Wow. Fatty. So soldier buried here from the Korean War. November 1928 to June 20th, 2012. Oh wow, now there is a cool stone. Look at that. It's got the pictures of them on it.
Yeah.
That is so cool. I've never seen anything like that. Couple of fishermen. Peggy and Kenneth. and they like to fish.
Yeah, they were.
He passed away in 2018, and she's still alive. Wow. That is so cool that they can put their photo right on the stone like that.
It says together forever over there. It's etched.
Yeah, that's so cool. Oh, that is really cool.
There was a letter from some man, or vice versa, I'm not sure. But it was in their handwriting, and somebody took it and made a stone and put it on their stone.
That's so neat that
It's
they're...
just like a letter.
Yeah, that's neat that they're able to do that and incorporate it right into the stone itself. I've never seen that done. I didn't even know they could do that.
Until we meet again, how much they miss each other.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a reminder of where we're all going to end up one day. I know a lot of people find that depressing, but it shouldn't be depressing because it's a new beginning, you know? It's a new beginning. And it's something that people should look forward to, because I believe the next life is going to be far better than this one. It's got to be. It has to be. This is a hard place to exist and live. Last Supper, together forever. Now, I don't know why someone would be interned this way. I mean, I guess there's some people that have a fear of being buried beneath ground, even though you're not in your body anymore upon death. But there's just some people that can't stand the thought of being buried in the earth, so they're buried above ground. I mean, I'm assuming that's the reason, because unless you're down in a mausoleum, this would have to be, I don't know, somebody that just wants to be above ground. Well, yeah, down south, because of sea level, they have to be buried above ground. But if you guys can see in the distance over there, right through there, that's Chautauqua Lake. We're up really high, so there's no flooding here. So to be buried above ground, I think it's just a preference. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. I could be totally wrong. I just think that maybe because I know there's some people that can't stand the thought of going in the earth, you know, where the insects and the worms and tree roots and everything are, and water. It just freaks them out. But you're not there anyway, so it really doesn't matter. And the Bible speaks of going back to, you know, back to the dust. We're just across the road from the one we were at yesterday, Lakeview Cemetery, where Lucille Ball is buried. That's all religions in there. This one is specifically a Catholic cemetery. This is all for Catholic religion.
Pretty along the way.
Yeah, no, this one's elaborately landscaped. This is really nice. They got the boxwoods, and they got the gold mop cypress, and they got the planters here with the flowers and everything. That's beautiful.
George.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
George and Susan.
Oh, George Patty, I know him. I did a landscape job for him. Joe, my brother's son, is living in his old house right now. He just bought his house. That's George Patty. Wow, so this is where he is. Yep, that's George Patty. I know this guy. I actually talked to him in person. He died in 2020. And this couple here. This guy right here, George Patty, like I said, I know him. He was the owner of Patty Paving Company here in Chautauqua County. He had a big blacktop company, and it got sold. And he had a beautiful ranch house out on Orr Street Extension in Chautauqua County, and I went and did a landscape bid for him. And that's why it's all landscaped around here like this, because he always liked landscaping and everything. He had a beautiful house that sold for over $700,000 with an in-ground swimming pool in the backyard. My brother's son ended up buying his house. That's where he's buried, right there, the original owner. Calamari. I knew some Calamaris. When I did healthcare, I had a client with the name Calamari. There's a couple in the olden days that was overseas somewhere. If you recognize the building, maybe you can leave it in the comments down below of where this couple, what building they are in front of right there. Looks like some religious temple that I'm not familiar with. Oh man, is that a huge stone. Wow. Gee whiz, that thing is mammoth. Yeah, they really go all out. Yeah, this is definitely something I believe in. Where it says never to say goodbye, I'm a big believer in that. Don't ever, ever say goodbye to anything or anyone ever in your life. In my opinion, this word is forbidden. You never want to say that to anybody because you never know when it could be the last time you see them. So don't ever use that word. Just say bye or see you later or something else, but don't ever say that word. That word is just too final, and I don't like that word. I don't ever say that word unless I'm reading it on something. It's just too final of a word, in my opinion. These are nicely done, just beautiful.
Is it palms from Palm Sunday? They make crosses out of their palms.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense. And Delora. Nice couple. And then Panzinka. Is that part of the Catholic religion to be buried above ground?
I have no idea.
Well, maybe someone can say in the comments down below the meaning of it, because I can't say. I don't know. I don't know anything about.
To be buried above ground.
And just like
They're so cool. I never seen one made like
just
that.
like this language down here, that's probably Italian, I'm guessing. I don't know, but if anybody knows what that writing is there, is that Italian? But it's a beautiful cemetery, and their headstones are pretty grand, very well done, very nice, and they really go all out for their loved ones, I'll tell you that. Because you can go in some cemeteries to where it's just Pauper's Field. It's just a little plastic tag with a card slid in it. What? Oh, here's an old one. De Stefano, 1961. And all right down through here, this strip right down through here, this would all be babies too. Gee whiz. That's just terrible. Huh, they actually have a section that's for babies.
5 years old. Sure.
5 years old?
Yeah.
Aw, little Shirley. This one was died at birth because it just has the date, just one date, October 23rd, 1949. So that must have been like a stillborn or something. This one says baby Fadi. Oh, that's sad. I don't want to read those.
This one was 14 years old, Genesis.
14-year-old kid.
Uh-huh.
Jeez.
Oh, they both died in 2015. I wonder if one was a baby. And they both died at the same time, like in a car wreck or something.
I don't know. That's just sad. That's horrific. I don't like to see children's graves. That bothers me. If someone lived to be, in their elder years, then it's still sad, but at least they got a full life. A child, they didn't stand a chance. This woman died in 1966. Look at that smile. I bet she was full of vinegar. Had a lot of jokes and laughed a lot. Nice lady. Salvatore, 1952. Wow, he died a long time ago. Genevieve and Carl. Carl died in 51 and she lived until 82. Oh. Okay, you guys, we're going to go to the other one and see what that one's like. So we'll be back.